Hit that intro in 3, 2, 1. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Soss here with the First Round Bye podcast, bringing you another episode about fantasy football. It is right around the corner. And if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, we are talking about tight ends, the veteran tight ends, and what you should do with them, what I personally think you should do with them, and where to go from here. So just to give you all a little context, our fantasy football league for First Round Bye is a 12-man PPR league. So that's what these opinions are based off of. And if you have not yet, please go and check out the last few videos that we put out. My boy Jose has been putting out some good content lately. He's been talking about wide receivers, running backs, all that good stuff. He's been talking about what rookies you should take. And so I decided to jump on the train and talk a little bit about the tight ends. Now, a lot of you are probably going to think that I'm crazy for this take, but I will not be drafting Travis Kelce.
What? What the fuck?
I'm just not going to. The reason being, we'll get to that later on.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So I have the cheat sheet sitting right in front of me, and I've got some information also sitting in front of me. So that's what we're going to go over. Now, I know a lot of you are sitting there saying, Sauce, what is going on in your head right now? You're not going to take Travis Kelce? Well, here's the thing. So Travis Kelce is getting older, right? I believe he is 34 years old. Now, granted, in a lot of these mock drafts that I've seen, or just the projections, are all saying that he's still a top tight end. And I'm not saying that he's not, but I will say this. The reason why I won't be taking Travis Kelce is because more than likely he is not going to be there whenever I feel comfortable taking him. And part of that is because the league and everyone else is getting younger. They are getting younger. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is an incredible talent. He has done so much good on that Kansas City team. However, the thing is that some of these younger players are looking a lot more enticing. Some of them are poised for breakout years, right? So take, for example, the number 2 tight end that is sitting on this list. He's actually my number 1 tight end, and that is Sam Laporta from the Detroit Lions. He had a monster year last year. Absolute monster year. Last year, he had 86 receptions, 889 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns. That is insane. And he was in that very vaunted, high-powered Detroit Lions offense. And I think that that's just going to continue. Now, granted, the Lions did pay some of their superstars. They have loaded up that offense. So there's going to be a lot more mouths to feed, I should say. However, Laporta is going to get his. He is 100% going to get his. So he should be the top tight end, in my opinion, that you should take. Moving on, another tight end that I really like is going to be Mark Andrews over in the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens. So last year he had 45 receptions, 544 yards, and 6 touchdowns, and he only played in 10 games. But whenever he was on the field, he was Lamar Jackson's favorite target, absolute favorite target. So he is my number 2. Why is he not my number 1? Because even though he was the top target for Lamar Jackson, they've gained some more offensive opportunities. They have more mouths to feed on that offense. It's going to be a high-powered offense, and I don't know how much they're going to use Mark Andrews. I do know that they're going to probably use him quite a bit, but still. So moving on, my number 3 rated tight end, Dalton Kincaid. Now, that Bills offense is just it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because obviously they lost Stephon Diggs. If you've not checked that out, we actually did a video over that. It was a pretty highly viewed video, so please go check that out if you haven't yet. But Dalton Kincaid, he's also over there with his running mate Dawson Knox over there in Buffalo. Now, last year he had 73 receptions, 673 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. Granted, I think that his touchdown percentage is going to go up. I think that he's going to hit at least at minimum 6 or 7 touchdowns on the year. He is going to be one of the favorite targets of Josh Allen because they don't really have a bona fide number 1 wide receiver anymore. And so because they don't have a bona fide number 1 wide receiver anymore, then that means that Mr. Kincaid and Mr. Knox are going to get some good looks. And Kincaid, he came on last season as a huge target and a huge weapon. So I'm really excited to see what he does. All right, so my next tight end is going to be Mr. Trey McBride. So I actually picked him up in fantasy off the waiver wire. I really liked him. I thought that he did really well as kind of a tight end 2. He didn't really have the statistic that you would want, like especially touchdown wise as a tight end 1, but he did have a string of like 3 or 4 games where he scored at least 15 to 20 points, I believe. I'd have to go double check, but he was solid for me. He did a really good job. Kind of came out of nowhere too. Now, one of the other veteran tight ends that you should probably stay away from, I'm going to probably get some hate for this, maybe. Mr. George Kittle over there in San Fran.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Now, why is that? My dude he's so wishy-washy. He's so streaky. Like, there will be one week where he will score, 20, 25, 30 points, and then the next week gets 3, gets 5 maybe. He is in an offense that he is not the focal point of. That offense is the focal point is Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. It's all the other weapons. It's not necessarily George Kittle. He is asked to block quite a bit. Now, he still had a really solid year. So he had 65 receptions for 1,020 yards and 6 touchdowns. I do think that he will be good still, but I would be very much a beware buyer, a buyer beware, if you will. And a lot of that just has to do with the streakiness of it. Like, you never know when he's going to pop off. So because you never know when he's going to pop off, then it makes it really hard to want to go with him. But he should still be a pretty solid option later on, I would think, unless he is living off of his name, which it happens. It happens. Antonio Gates did that for a long time. All right, and my final buyer beware is a guy that I have put my trust in for several years and end up getting burned by him because of not only the offense, but the offensive coordinator and just him in general. And that's Mr. Kyle Pitts over there in Atlanta.
Boo this man!
He is poised, in all honesty, to do really well. He is poised, but every single year it looks like he's going to break out. Every single freaking year it looks like he's going to break out, and he just doesn't. But the Atlanta Falcons they're putting together a pretty good offense over there, so I do have a little bit of faith in him, but I personally wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole because he has burned me too many times. Buyer's remorse. And then now I can't end this off without having a sleeper. So my sleeper is actually going to be Brock Bowers. He is the rookie tight end for the Sin City Raiders. Yeah, I don't know if anybody understands that reference, but He is a brand new tight end. He was very much touted, and he is an offensive playmaker, absolute offensive playmaker. And that Vegas team doesn't have a whole lot of playmakers, but I think that he could be a sneaky good pick, but in the later rounds. If all the other options are already taken, then I think that you can't go really all that wrong with him. I think he's going to do good as a rookie. Now, I will say that all this obviously is all just my opinion. It is what I would do. And to give you a little context, I have not sniffed the playoffs in several years. So, but this is going to be my year. It's going to be my year. And I am just very wary of some of these veterans. I don't know how well they're going to do, but I think that anybody and everybody should hold off on some of these veteran players. So that's why I don't like Travis Kelce. I don't like, George Kittle. That's why I'm kind of staying away from some of these guys. Plus, at the end of the day, it's just going to be, they're going to be gone by the time I feel comfortable taking them. Now, I could be very wrong, and they could blow up and do amazing, but we will see. We will see. I also don't really like the fact that Travis Kelce is also fighting with all these other receiving options now. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to have so many mouths to feed that he's just not going to know what to do with it. So I think that Travis Kelce could potentially get lost in the shuffle. But then again, though, I could also be just overthinking all of this. So with that being said, drop down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of my opinion. Do you guys agree or disagree? What are your thoughts on these newer tight ends? They are playmakers. Like, with the exception of George Kittle, pretty much gone are the days of these tight ends just staying in and blocking and stuff. They are legit playmakers, and they could be the thing that makes or breaks your fantasy season this year. So, with that being said, drop down in the comments below, drop a like, comment, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 200 subs, and we are just getting into the thick of fantasy football, which is our favorite time of the year. So, with all that being said, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for post notifications so you know anytime we post a video. Check out all of our fantasy football videos if you are interested, and we will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.